Hi everyone, welcome to Cosmic Turtles. We're doing a beat reading. We'll see what comes out because I have no idea until I see the card. And this is no copyright music, so background sounds. So what do we have for our viewers? Okay, 2 cards. Let's see what happens. Wow. Talk about 2 cards. Death and the Tower. Death and the Tower. Whatever wasn't built on strong foundation will crumble. That's just how it is. That's how the energies work. If it's not built on integrity, on compassion, if there's a crack in your foundation, you're compromising yourself. Yeah, you're not going to be standing strong for too long, even though you could maybe pass the light, the wool over other people's eyes. It will only last so long. After a while, they'll see right through it because there's a crack in your foundation. You got to heal that. You got to work on that. Death card doesn't mean literal death. It just means transformation. So whatever it is that made this crumble, it has to be healed. So there has to be a big transformation happening. Whatever used to work before doesn't work anymore. That's the thing about the new Aquarian age, the new template for humanity, the new energies that are coming in. The old template is no longer being fed. There's no more energy going towards that. No matter how much different organizations are trying to keep it still alive. They're still operating on an old way. And that's why all their ways that used to be so hidden in the dark and everything are being revealed by the light. They wanted to know, how is it that people know now? And then they said, oh, well, we're just going to tell people. They don't care now. Yeah, they do. Everything is recorded in the collective. And now there's a big light on there. You can't redact anything anymore. Who am I? You ask. Cosmic Turtles. Let's get a clarifier on the Tower for the viewers. What is a clarifier for the Tower? Those of you that are listening to this one specifically and say, I don't understand her. This because this reading is not for you. Not yet, but you will at one point. So, for those of you it does resonate, go ahead, enjoy it. If it doesn't make sense, have fun throwing it out. Enjoy that too. These are messages for certain groups of people, and if you feel to come and listen to it, go ahead. You can. Sometimes you get a message and it makes something stir on the inside. And that's part of the healing. It's like when someone says, where do I begin? Life is a circle. Where do you begin in the circle? You just go in and start it, wherever it is. You stay in the present moment, you'll know exactly where you can be to start with the healing or start with whatever it is you're trying to start for yourself. So what is the clarifier? The Emperor is the clarifier on the Tower. A very high ruling has come by to say, okay, this is what's happening now. And I'd say this would be the representation of your own personal soul. Your soul is saying, okay, it's time that this Tower moment happens. It's time for the human to start seeing where it was that they need the healing, where it is that needs to be looked at, to shine the light on, okay? So it's an energetic feeling here, in this case. about to clarify the tower. So it's a divine masculine that's kicking in for some. Where's the clarifier for the death card? And soon there's gonna be no more whatever BS that's been going on. Hopefully it sticks. We'll keep optimistic about things. Each one of us individually, our own way of thinking of things, it affects everything. We think we don't matter, so oh, I'm just one person. Energetically, that's not how it works. You're here for a reason. Even if that reason seems like nothing at all to your own eyes, on the greater scale of things, it matters a lot. Think about it. If you have this big structure, okay, and they're made of tiny little parts, you take one of those parts out, the whole thing comes crumbling down. So that little part matters. And that little part is you. Think about that for a second. I got two clarifiers for the death card. I have the King of Swords. King of Swords comes in with his sword of truth. I'm thinking Avalon. It could make sense for some of you that have some past lives in those days. King Uther with Merlin and all that, like the king with the sword of truth, the one that took the King Arthur took that sword out of that stone. So this transformation that's happening can only take place if you do it if you're pure of heart. You can't go in there with the egoic mind saying, oh yeah, I could do this. With the egoic mind, when you haven't done the internal work, you're still being triggered easily, you're still being affected by things that has nothing to do with you. So until you do that internal work and realize these things are what is yours and what's not, then you can't go and do this whole transformation thing until you're pure of heart and able to pull that sword out of the stone type of thing. That's why Avalon came. Spirit knew I'd make the connection to that aspect, saying it's about the purity of heart. You got to clear the shadows so that your heart is there. Your heart's always pure. The shadows get in the way, and then your mind is the one that's taken over, and it's like, no, you got to have that bridge of understanding. You have to build that bridge. You got to, it's already built, but realize you have it within you. And then having that purity of heart grow through. So the only way for this transformation to be successful or even start is to have that purity. It's to connect with your heart. Your authentic self has the purity of heart. Okay, and the other one that came through was magician. Okay, so it does make sense with Merlin and the magician and all that. Like, you see how they worked? If you know the story a little bit, King Arthur and Merlin were best friends. And although energetically, spiritually, Merlin turned after a while, that's okay. That's still being healed. It's not his fault. He was just fed up with a lot of bullshit, and he turned the other way. And he kind of forgot about the compassionate side he originally had when he was younger. So, them two had a great dynamic. He would rule the kingdom. He would be his right-hand man. But it's kind of like us. You have your mind rules the kingdom of your body. Your heart is the guide. They gotta work together for your whole body to be in a good way. So these transformations can happen in a good way. And it always starts with you individually. You physically, you mentally, you emotionally, and you spiritually. Those are the 4 aspects that represent a human being. That would be the wisdom of that dragon. in Merlin and my inner child's part of this reading too. So it starts with you building this internal connection, building this internal relationship, and then from there it sends an energy. And that energy, when it's sent out, then it starts changing your reality around you. And then these changes, these transformations can manifest right in front of your eyes. Okay. Alright. Ooh, okay. Magician came out again. And who else? Okay. Magician and 4 of Cups came next. We're going to get some clarifiers on that. Magician says you have all the tools that you need within you for what it is that you desire. And here he's refusing an offer. He's like, he's looking at his 3 cups, not satisfied what he has, and the divine is trying to give him what he wants, but he's so concentrated on, focused on what he's not happy about, that he's not able to recognize when the opportunity comes to him to have something he really, really wants. It's like stuck on the past, because that's already there. It's already manifested. That's the past. Something new is trying to come in, but he's so concentrated on the past. Don't fall back for the past stuff. Like, being in the present moment, you're aware of your past, and you only go in there to retrieve information if you need to. And besides that, you have a goal in the future, and all you got to do is stay in the present moment while you're observing opportunities coming towards you. And that's what the magician does. He waits. He actively waits. It's not just sitting there and doing nothing. No. It's you continue doing what you're supposed to do for yourself, your self-care, your self-love, your jotting down ideas for a future project. You know, you don't just start it when the future is there, because the future never comes. Everything, your point of power is in the present moment. The magician definitely talks about being in that present moment and not getting stuck at looking at what you had or have, and not being able to recognize the opportunities that show up for you to help you with your expansion and growth of what you already have. Just a quick message about that. Like mini stories coming through. Let's get a clarifier on, well, the magician was first, so let's get the magician 1, and then we'll do the 4 cups. Clarifier for the magician. What do we have for our viewer? Woohoo! Okay, we got a few. No, a few or just 1? Okay, we got 2 for the magician. First one, 4 wands, celebration, almost there. You're almost there. It's a time of celebration. It's if you're able to see it properly, because they're so small cards. There's like 4 people here, and they're all dancing and happy. for some people too, like on a more 3D thing, it can also be a card of marriage, because it could be your 1111 card, and it's the marriage and celebration, because you see the wreath on top and everything, and that would be like where people would go through to get married, and like the arch doorway and things like that. It's just nice. So it could be a card of marriage. However, the next card that came out was the Eight of Swords. So maybe some of you had... It's to clarify the Magician card, saying, yeah, Tina, you're telling us that we got every tool that we want inside of us to be able to manifest things. But right now, with restrictions here and there, I want to get married, but I can't even leave my country to go into the southern places or whatever to be able to get married where I want to get married, because that's what I originally asked for. And I'm not happy with what is being presented to me. That's a story. Let's get some clarifiers on the Four of Cups. What is the, pertaining to this story, what is the clarifier for the Four of Cups for our viewer? Okay. Doesn't matter where you are when you want to share your love. Because if you really think about it, it doesn't matter where you are on Earth. You came to Earth. I mean, you're a spirit having a human experience. Does it matter where you share your love? Because the original plan came from the egoic mind, which seeks to sabotage your happiness. Because what's the ultimate thing that's the most important? The location or the actual love? It's just something to reflect on. And the next card, look at that. You know, it doesn't matter where it is that you decide to share your love. What's more important, the location or the actual love? Look, you got the Lovers and the Two of Cups that came out. What's the most important thing? It's a story for someone. Just the fact of finding someone that wants to share time with you on this individual journey each one of us are living. At least you're not going to do it alone. It doesn't matter. Well, that's a story. And it's for someone out there. And you know what? There's people that, like, okay, I'm in the northern hemisphere. We get snow for Christmas, right? I could go to the store and I can buy palm trees. Order it online, and I could do a whole Caribbean whatever theme in my house and decorate it that way. I could put the heat on extremely high if I want in my house and make it feel like it's hot, and put fans around, make it look like it's. You can make it like you're there, but what's the most important thing is that I got to have, you know, for me, it was I got to have that summer feeling of a Christmas. Even though outside there's snow and all that, and usually it's the Christmas tree, and that's fine. But if I wanted it different, I'd change the decor around me to make it like I'm there. There's always a way, because what was the most important? It wasn't to actually go there, although it'd be nice. That wasn't the point. The point was to kind of recreate it in a way you can experience it for yourself. And because you have that Magician card in the first place, is you have the ability to create it just like, without having to go there. Because physicality doesn't always have physical life has a lot of restrictions. Even spirit having a human experience. We're not fully here in our full grandeur of what our spirit is. There's only an aspect of our spirit that's within this vessel to keep it going, and it's connected to the bigger part of who we are individually. You understand? Physicality has its limitations, and we have to understand that. And for the time being, are you gonna stop love because you couldn't get to that location? Do you still love this person? Right? Just things to reflect. The bottom of the okay, the spirit's being funny. Bottom of the deck, 2 cups again. So it's just like reinforcing it. I guess I could hear the argument, like, yes, but it was my dream since I was little. This is what I wanted. Yes. So that means that something was put in very young age that it would create a blockage later. But it's not wrong, you know, to want, to like, to go and, you know, it's not wrong. It almost, you know what it feels like in a way? You know when you get older, well, not all of you are getting older, but let's say you get older and you remember when you were younger, you were more flexible and you could dance and do all these moves. But now you're older and you don't have as much flexibility as you did. And although the egoic mind is trying to push you to get these products and all that and whatever to try to keep you all young, feeling, looking, that it's feeding this vanity aspect instead of you accepting where you are at the moment, what you have. These are these little tiny programs of self-sabotage that get ingrained or get placed in us at a very young age, and it creates problems later. That's what causes the resistance of us being able to practice acceptance and allowing the universe to actually and be in the receiving mode and create things, but in another way that we didn't even expect, that could even be even better than what we originally had a plan for. You understand? Oh my god, really? This one just flipped. Like, Lover's card came out. This is a new story, but it's funny. They're just following the same theme. There seems to be a lot of people asking about love. The original love. Judgment came next. Lover's card, Judgment. And then, this is another mini story. Okay, let's push that aside. 3 of Pentacles. I know what each card represents individually, but I see something in here. I see something in here. Okay. These 2 are major arcanas, and this one is a 3 of Pentacles. Pentacles represent the material realm, 3D. Okay? From spirit to 3D. This is our internal dynamics, the divine masculine and divine feminine within us, our divinity, reaching that balance. That means when you have an internal conflict inside of yourself, you're battling one side, the other side, what's right, what's not, and trying to reach inner peace. When you reach inner peace, you have that divine masculine, divine feminine balance. Okay, that's one of the aspects, is the divine masculine, divine feminine, and you have the Judgment card that represents the universal forces. Like we have a 3 everywhere. We have 1, 2, 3. Then we have the child, the father, mother, or the male, female, and the child. And here we have the 3 of Pentacles. So it's 3, 3, 3. This is help from the divine, like a waking up this aspect. Okay. In our physical life, there's 3 main components. Okay. To be able to achieve that, because it's the card of cooperation, right? To be able to have a cooperative inside-outside reality, you need to balance the divine masculine and the divine feminine within that one person. You need to have faith in the divine and incorporate all parts of you. The nurturing aspect, the protective aspect, and the aspect that's the inner child. Okay? The angels take care of pushing away the shadows. So then you're left in the light. These beings are blue, so they've been enlightened. And you gotta allow the divine to help you through all these realities that you're living at the same time. When they say we're multi-dimensional beings, they're not kidding. We really are. When you start awakening or seeing, holy jeez, I operate in all kinds of ways. A lot of it is our subconscious. It's not like automatic. Like a lot of our bodily functions, a lot of it is the subconscious that runs that. Consciously, we can only handle so much at a time. When we're children, even less. But we feel more free as a child, less responsibility. As we grow older, more responsibility. And as we grow even older still, there's certain things we can actually help ourselves. Like breathing. You can let yourself get all hypered up, but you can on purpose slow down your breathing to calm yourself. So then you become master of your own body for that aspect. Okay? Then there's the aspect of thought. Okay? So the physicality part, there's the nutrition, the connection of the mind and the body, and how to use that, how to use our vehicle properly. And we consciously, like our mind, our intellect, like that could be it could be fogged up by emotions that are stored in our sensory system, or it can be by things that are said or intellectually triggers, and then we answer back. That also operates with the subconscious. So you got the intellectual aspect, you got the emotional aspect, you have the physical aspect, and the spiritual aspect. Those are like 4 legs. And those 4 legs are holding the platform called you in 3D. You. And all these aspects have to be in cooperation, or that's what it is to do your internal work. Taking care of yourself, knowing yourself, care for thyself, let food be thy medicine, and acknowledge your spiritual side, your spirit, your divinity, your connection. If you're atheist, and I say that because I know people that are, believe in yourself. That would be that would be acknowledging your spiritual leg aspect. Okay, so even for the atheist, even science will come and bring it and show it that there's a divine aspect to things. We're not there yet. It'll get there. So even for the atheist, just the fact believing in themselves, that works for them, for being able to do this whole platform thing, to hold yourself up in a balanced way. Okay, the integration of divine male and female, like divine masculine and divine feminine, that's happening right now. A lot of people, the ones that are actually helping that in the collective are those that are going through the twin flame journeys. Because of their experiences, the ups and downs, the runner, the chaser, the ups, the everything. Okay, it's not easy. But these people took on this in this lifetime to do this adventure and small journeys here and there, to anchor that information for the collective. So we start learning the dynamics of how it works on the inside with our nurturing side and protective side. That's how I described those energies, was that there's a nurturing aspect, because even a father could be very nurturing. If the mother died, who else is going to be that nurturing aspect? the emotional support for their children. Okay, so that's more of the divine feminine aspect. But if it woke up in him, he's very masculine. Doesn't mean he likes the other same sex. That it has nothing to do with sexual preference. That's something else. That's like saying you like this color and that person likes that color. It don't matter. Okay, sexual preference is another thing. This is for sexual preference is more on what you want to experience on the physical level. Okay. But and everything else that comes with that. Okay, so the divine masculine, divine feminine is the nurturing aspect, and the being the protector aspect. Okay, so that's, and how to bring them together, that they agree within you and that you feel you are a whole authentic person. Judgment, your relation with the 4 parts of you that are already there, even though you haven't physically gotten there yet. The inner child, the adventurous teenager, the responsible adult, the wise elder. So those are the 4. In this case, you see 3. I'd say the wise elder would connect with the angel Gabriel here, because the elder has that connection with the divine beings that help us, because that's what the elders do, is they help the rest of the people to keep their balance, their guides. So by that time, that's why in a lot of Native American cultures, the elders are very revered, because they hold the wisdom of the ages and the wisdom of like how to help their peoples, also observe them growing up. They also they know what's what and how, and they can teach and guide. And they won't go they go very slowly, because they know by the time they got there, they know life is slow. Excuse me. And if you go too fast with a person, you can psychologically hurt them. And it takes a while before they come back to themselves. Okay? So in this aspect, the elder, which is closer to, has that access, he'd be more into the realm of the angels at that in this picture. And also would be this is the judgment card, so he's blowing the horn of judgment and people are rising up from their graves. It's also about the parts of you that you did not acknowledge, that you hid in different boxes within you because other people's opinions growing up. And those key parts of you, you haven't looked at it in a long time, and you haven't been in there for such a long time that you're kind of afraid to do the internal journey. Don't worry. You got an inner elder that'll help with your guidance. Go through that. So this is about the process. The human process to be able to level up and evolve step by step. And it's also part of my own teachings, Cosmic Turtle teachings. The 4 human aspects and the 4 parts of life that are part of you. So there's the physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual aspects. And then you have the inner child, the adventurous teenager, the responsible adult, and the wise elder, and how to listen to that. I'm making some classes, I'm videotaping some classes, and I'm going to learn how to use Zoom. I'll learn as I go, and I'm going to make a class and teach these things to people. Right now I'm throwing them here and there, but everything's already written, and it's just a matter of when to launch. It's coming out in the readings now, so people maybe are ready for the info, because like I said, if someone comes in and hears this reading and says, I don't understand her, it's okay. You don't now, but at a later time you might, okay? Because it depends where you're at in your development. Because I remember listening to people that speak like me now, but I didn't understand then. But now with a little bit of more experience and extracted the wisdom of my experiences and lessons. After that, now I'm like, oh, I'm in the understanding. Okay, now I get it. Okay? So this is mini readings. There's a few stories here. So whoever it is that it resonates for, I hope this helped. And this is Tina from Cosmic Turtles, and we'll see you next time.